You're at a party or a networking event, or maybe just grabbing coffee with a friend of a friend. They look at you with warm, familiar eyes. They say your name with ease. And you smile, you nod, you lean in, but your mind is a blank wall, a void. The name is gone. Not just fuzzy, completely, utterly evaporated. So you do what you always do. You laugh a little too hard. You steer the conversation without pronouns. You wait for someone else to say their name, praying for a rescue that never comes. And later, when you're alone, you replay the moment. You tell yourself the same thing you've told yourself 100 times before. What is wrong with me? You wonder if it means you're selfish. You wonder if it means you don't care. You wonder if people can see right through you, the fake smile, the hidden panic, the fact that you just had a 20-minute conversation with someone whose name you've already lost again. If this feels familiar, stay with me, because what you're about to discover will change the way you see that moment forever. Let's walk into that scene again, but this time let's look at what's really happening beneath the surface. You meet someone, they extend their hand, they tell you their name, and in that exact second, your brain does something extraordinary. It doesn't just hear a sound, it scans. It asks a silent, rapid-fire set of questions. Is this person safe? Do they remind me of someone who hurt me? Do I need to impress them? Are they judging me? While your conscious mind is trying to remember if they said Sarah or Sarah, your subconscious is running a security check on your emotional survival. And here's the truth most people don't tell you. Forgetting a name is rarely about a bad memory. It's almost always about a divided mind. Psychologists call it the next in line effect. It's the reason you can sit in a circle, hear 10 people introduce themselves, and by the time it's your turn, you've already forgotten the person right before you. It's not because you're careless, it's because your brain was busy rehearsing what you were going to say, busy managing the anxiety of being perceived, busy making sure you didn't stumble over your own words. And in other words, you didn't forget their name because you didn't care. You forgot because you cared too much about how you were coming across. Let that land for a second. You're not the forgetful one. You're the hyper-aware one. Now, let's go deeper, because there's another layer to this, one that might make you feel seen in a way you've never felt before. People who forget names easily often share a quiet, unspoken trait. They are emotionally sensitive, and not in the fragile way, in the deep processing way. When you walk into a room, you're not just seeing people, you're absorbing the energy, you're reading the subtle tension between two people standing by the window. You're noticing the way someone crosses their arms when they feel insecure. You're picking up on the silence that hangs in the air after a joke falls flat. Your brain is processing 1,000 social cues at once. It's doing the work of an emotional architect, while everyone else is just playing with the building blocks. And in the middle of all that, someone says, "Hi, I'm Mark," and your brain, which is already running 10 programs in the background, files Mark into a temporary folder. It knows it will lose the second the next emotional signal arrives. It's not a flaw. It's a sign that your mind is wired for depth, for meaning, for understanding the room, not just naming the furniture. Think about the people you remember, not the names, the people, the ones who left an impression, the ones who said something that made you feel less alone, the ones whose presence felt like a quiet exhale. You remember them because your brain doesn't prioritize labels. It prioritizes emotional impact. And here's the twist that will reframe every awkward silence you've ever had. Sometimes forgetting a name isn't a memory problem. It's a defense mechanism. Stay with me. Your brain is fiercely protective of you. If you've ever been hurt by someone close to you, betrayed, dismissed, abandoned, your mind learns a painful lesson. It learns that people are not always safe. And so subconsciously, it starts to blur the edges. It resists attaching names to faces because names are entry points. Names are intimacy. And intimacy, to a brain that's been burned, feels like a risk. So you forget, not because you're rude, but because somewhere deep inside, a part of you is waiting to see if this person is worth the vulnerability of remembering. It's a silent test, a shield disguised as a lapse, and the people who are truly close to you, the ones who've earned a place in your nervous system, you never forget their names. Because they passed the test, your heart was too quiet to admit it was running. Let's pause here for a moment. Think about the last time you forgot a name. Was it in a moment of pressure, a moment of social performance, or was it with someone who made you feel slightly uneasy without knowing why? Your brain knew. It always knows. Now here's the part that changes everything. You're not broken. You are not careless. You are not the person in the room who cares the least. In fact, you might be the one who cares the most. Because here's what no one tells you about the psychology of forgetting names. It is often a symptom of presence, not absence. The most forgetful people in social settings are often the most present people in emotional ones. You might forget a name you heard 3 seconds ago, but you will remember, months later, the exact look on someone's face when they were hurting. You will remember the weight of a conversation. You will remember the feeling of being understood. Your memory doesn't work in bullet points. It works in feelings. And in a world that values quick introductions and surface-level connections, your mind is quietly rebelling. It's refusing to reduce people to labels. It's holding out for meaning. So the next time you're in that moment, the handshake, the name, the blank, don't let shame rush in. Take a breath, look them in the eyes. And if you forget again, say this, just this. I'm so sorry. I want to get this right. What's your name again? Not with panic, with sincerity. Because here's the secret that confident people know. Asking again isn't weakness, it's respect. It tells the other person you are worth remembering correctly. And if they judge you for it, that's not your flaw to carry. That's their impatience, but more often than not, they'll feel relief because most people are terrified of being forgotten. And when you admit your own forgetfulness with honesty, you give them permission to admit theirs. You break the silent shame that so many of us carry alone. So if you've spent years telling yourself that forgetting names means you're selfish or distracted or somehow less than, I want you to hear this clearly. You don't have a memory problem. You have a depth problem in a surface level world. Your mind is not built for casual, it's built for real. It doesn't collect names like trophies, it collects moments like lifelines. And the people who matter, the ones who see you, who feel you, who stay, they don't need you to remember their name on the first try. They need you to remember who they are when it counts. And that, you've never failed at that, because you remember the heartbeats, not the labels. And in the end, that's the only memory that ever truly matters.